What's up, everybody? So, I'm sure you all wanted to know from my experience what it was like being in the Hurricane Ida. Now, before I get any further than that, make sure, if you have not done so, make sure you all go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way I can provide more content for you guys. And remember, you make sure you keep that notification bell on so that way you don't miss any videos that I upload. So, now on to this story. So, actually, this actually takes back around 2 weeks ago. You know, really it started off. I started to notice it, or starting to realize it by Tuesday. I noticed, well, by Monday. I was noticing that there was going to be reports that there was a good possibility where the Hurricane Ida was about to take place over here in Cape Coral, which is where I live. So, a lot of you may or may not know, but I moved out of Miami in 2018 and came down here to Cape Coral with my grandparents and stuff. So, yeah, so when the word got out, I was pretty, naive into it because, us Florida people, first off, the last time we had hurricane was around, like, give or take, or 2017, give or take. I don't want to mess up the time span of what it was, but I know it was around 2017. And that was a pretty while back, and I didn't think, we weren't gonna have any hurricane for like a long period of time. So when I first heard of it, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna be as impactful as it once was. And man, I was wrong, of course, but I was right, but then I was wrong at the same time, and I'll explain it in a minute. So I was pretty naive to it, and it's simply because not just through the weather report, but through the news itself, because sometimes it's good to watch the news, but it's also good to kind of research it and kind of know exactly what's really going on. Because sometimes the news can tell you one thing, but then when you look it up and you research it, you realize what they're putting out there is absolutely false. So always kind of, I could be a little naive about that. Like, I don't know about that. It's a good possibility where it could be a storm or whatever. So that time though, I didn't really research about it. So because I was always prepared regardless of whatever happens. Always had extra food, extra water, and protections and all that shit. So, we were always taken care of. So by Tuesday, that's where I realized, like, okay, it looks like it's gonna hit over here, and looks like they say it was gonna take about like a day or two, and I was like, if it's gonna take a day or two, I was thinking like, well, worst case scenario, we might have probably just a tropical storm, maybe like some little lightning, thunder, and a little bit of wind and rain. Because that's what happened last year. Last year they said we were gonna have a hurricane, and all we had was just a tropical storm. So, so this point, I'm still watching, but then I was preparing just in case if it were to go down, meaning if we didn't have any powers and it was something impactful or something crazy was about to happen. So that's why I made the video saying like, hey, it's a good possibility where I won't be able to make any videos because we're not gonna have any power for a couple of days, which it took a little longer than that. And so, I kind of made a mistake though, because I think when I did the reaction to Halloween Ends, before I did that, I was talking like, like the event was over, like it literally took a couple of days as they say. But after experiencing the hurricanes, I realized like, yeah, I kind of should have never jumped to a conclusion like that. I was thinking positive, in my mind, like everything, like we were gonna wipe out the hurricane, like everything was gonna be good to go, and we're not gonna get hit as much as people thought it would, which obviously I was wrong, but I've been wrong before, and it is what it is. I'm a man of my word, so it is what it is. But I always like to have a positive mindset. I don't like to, look down on certain things and be like, damn, like ain't this something, man? Like, damn. We can't have this, and we can't do that. Like why can't we do that? Like I always have a positive. I turn to a positive. I like, well, it's a good possibility where we can do this instead of not having that, or maybe we can, there's a good possibility where this might happen and this might not happen. So I always turning it upside up instead of upside down. You know what I mean? That's just me. So anyway, so yeah, that Tuesday I did the video. I made that video and I uploaded it, I think around Thursday or Friday. I kind of jumped to conclusion a little too early, but on that Wednesday, that's where we got hit, and that's where we got the powers were pretty much shut down already. I think the powers went off by around, I want to say, probably around 10, 11 o'clock, around late morning, early afternoon, give or take. And then while we didn't have no power and while the hurricane was arising, man, all you could hear was the bumps around from the trees hitting the roofs, and we had a tall flag that eventually it was destroyed, and yeah, some of the trees that we had in the back, it was completely destroyed. Well, some of them, and yeah, and then we had like a patio. It was like a little screen. I guess you want to call it a screen dorm that we had there. That one was completely, well, not completely destroyed, but some of the screens were taken off. So, and then some of the roofs, the pallets that we had on top, some of them were off. So we got hit pretty good. However, though, after the next day when the hurricane was over, which was crazy, like as soon as the hurricane literally hit only for one day, and then after that it was gone. But let me tell you, for the short time that the hurricane was in, it sure as hell made a lot of impact, because when we got out, we seen the amount of damage that hurricane had put into Cape Coral. Man, it was a tragic, man. I mean, it was flooded. Houses were destroyed. That picture you see there on the of this church, which I showed it to you again. As you can see, that church was basically destroyed. And I don't know if you can see it there, but there was actually believe it or not, there's actually a tree inside that church. And I made that comment to people, certain people, that I was saying like, oh, I guess that the devil had came and struck it down. Either that or God was really upset the way how they built that church. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then there were those trees that was like lift off from the ground, and they were pretty much touching against the house, and the power lines were down. I mean, it was completely. I mean, especially people that live closer around the beaches, they got it even worse. Okay, they got it even worse than we got. Okay, and what's crazy is that I know one of my family members, their houses got destroyed really bad. I mean, they don't even have an AC. That's how bad it was. Okay, the AC unit to get an AC in your house, that is gone. Okay, so it did pretty good amount of damage. So it was crazy. So what's interesting is that we thought we're not gonna have any power for give it take about a couple of weeks or so, and that's why I was mainly mentioning on the video of bad news. I think that was titled Bad News, saying that there's a good possibility where I'm not be able to upload video for a couple of weeks or so because of what transpired and stuff. Man, I guess DeSantis had watched my video and stated you know what, this ain't gonna work that way. No, these houses are gonna be this city is gonna be back to normal in about, give or take, about a week or two. So that's what I thought he was stating in my mind. I mean, I'm talking shit. I highly doubt he watched my video, but the point being is, listen, say what you want about DeSantis, okay? DeSantis, he's a man in as far as Florida goes, okay? That dude, he did exactly what he said he was gonna do. He actually instructed people from Florida, from Miami, or from cops to electrical companies or whatever, to come and help everybody out to trying to turn this city or this county, which is the Lee County, which you got Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and elsewhere, to turn this county and back to normal, back to what it was. And man, every single day there was an update. And by the way, it's still going on to this very day. You know, he's still killing it, man. Right now, shit, we had about, like, maybe give or take about almost 30,000 people with power in less than almost a week. No, give or take about a week. So, and that's in Cape Coral. In Fort Myers, they had a lot more. And then elsewhere, in Marco Island and stuff. The only ones that didn't have power was a city called Pine Island and San Isabel because of the flooding. You know, electrical companies, they cannot go into, you know, in those type of flooded environment because that's dangerous. So, but eventually, if you looked on Instagram, the bridges eventually were already gone down because apparently they already finished up. They were finishing up the construction area in Pine Island. So, man, when DeSantis said, listen, we're going to give these people some advanced technology so that way they can work faster, especially, you know, building up these powers and all that, he did exactly that, man. He did exactly that. Not only that, he had multiple cops in there, multiple, like, hurricane reliefs, foundations. I mean, that dude, shout out to DeSantis, man. And, of course, shout out to, you know, all the cops out there, all the fire trucks, firemen and women out there, you know, all the American Rescues, you know, all the hurricane relief people out there. I mean, everybody did their part. Everybody was helping. Even our neighbors, we were helping each other. You know, it was cool. That's why I always like to keep stuff into positive because, yeah, eventually the negatives will come, but eventually there's gonna be ways where you can find it and make it into a positive. Like find a solution of how we can be able to survive this issue. So, yeah, say what you want about DeSantis. You may not agree for what he says or whatever, but listen, man, that dude, when he makes his promise of what he's gonna do, he delivers, man. And by the next day, he had people already start changing the Lee County from upside down to upside up. So, you know, it's as you can see, I think highly of Ron DeSantis. You know, I didn't really care much of politics and stuff like that, or what was going on in the world up until probably about 2 years ago, when Trump and everything, because everybody was hating on Trump. You know, not because of his policy. A lot of people really hate him because of who he is. Because you know, if you explain to people why they hate Trump, it's either because of the way how he talks, the way how, you know, how he's brutally honest to people and all that certain stuff. It ain't got nothing to do with policy. Maybe some people have disagreed because of his policy. Hey, that's your prerogative, and that's just you. But what's interesting is that I'm not gonna get any more political than. I'm not gonna talk about any more political about Trump and DeSantis and all that, but I'm just gonna point that out. That was crazy about the Trump situation is that a couple years ago when he first was gonna run for president, I remember back in high school, man, the kids they were just hatred. Even the teacher was hatred about, you know, Trump running for president. Well, the teacher no, because the teacher loved debates. She loved debate because, you know, they're going to be, you know, disagreements. They're going to be agreeing to disagree on both sides. Some people love Trump, some people didn't love Trump. But in my classroom, almost everybody hated Trump, right? Now me, I didn't give a shit about politics. So, you know, I was like, why do we hate Trump? Like, I don't understand that. Just because he's running for president, so now all of a sudden you guys hate him? What the hell? You guys don't even give him a chance. You don't even know what he's gonna do. He might turn this country around and, as they say, make America great again. You never know. Why don't you give him a shot? Just because he can be an asshole doesn't mean that, you know, he's gonna be a shitty ass president. You know what I mean? Like, give it a take, right? How many of you guys, when you were small, right? When you were small, you thought your parents was an asshole because they were giving you tough love and all this shit. But then as you get older, you started to be more. You respected a lot more because you found out the reason why they were giving you these tough love or they were treating you like an asshole in a certain subject, especially when you fucked up. You understood it eventually as you get older. This is the same thing applied with Trump. Like at first, when you discover Trump, you would hate him, but when you pay attention and when you listen to his interviews or his, the way how he conducts his interviews and when you go through his policy and stuff, you kind of respected him because of his policy, what he stand for. That's how I took it. At that time, I didn't care if Trump was the president or Obama was the president or anything like that. Actually, you know what? I actually liked it Obama as the president, not because of his policy, but because it showed, and that was like around 2008 when I first discovered Obama. That when his first time become the president. The only reason why I was happy was because it showed everybody, it showed the kids that you can be the president, you can be whoever you want to be, as long as you work hard. That's how I looked at it as a kid. Okay, so it wasn't has to do with politics or anything like that. And the same thing with Trump. With Trump, he's not a politician, he's a businessman. So that proves another example where, with Trump, as he was a businessman, if we transition from businessman to politician, if he can be able to do that, anybody can do it. Okay, so that shows a light that you can be whoever you want to be. All it takes is just hard work and dedication and ambitions. So anyway, enough about politics and my views on politics and so that shit. So back to the item. So yeah, eventually everything has started to get back to normal within about, starting from that Thursday after the aftermath of the hurricane all the way to now, which right now today is Saturday. Yeah, today is Friday. This video will be probably uploaded about maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, man, the bottom line is this hurricane, it was short, but it had a lot of impact. A lot of houses were destroyed and built, and homes and buildings were pretty much destroyed as well. So so at the end of the day, we all survived, and we're well, at least I did. I know certain people, based on whatever, that they pass away because of this event, which is a really tragic thing. It's very unfortunate. It's that's the tragic thing. That's all I gotta say about that. But yeah, man, I'm just grateful that we and my family and everybody else were able to manage to survive. I don't know if anybody here at Cape Coral that passed. I don't think so. At least not that I know of, not notified. But I know people like in Sanibel and Pine Island, yes, they were. So that's all I gotta say, man, about my experience. It wasn't too bad, but the impact was pretty brutal. So I wish anybody that's gonna be experiencing this Hurricane Ida, just stay strong and find a place where you can be safe and secure, because you never know with these type of hurricanes. You don't know what the impact is going to be about, because it's very unpredictable. So I know I touched on Louisiana, and I think it's going to touch on certain states that I'm not 100% sure about, but I know it touched Louisiana. So I hope everybody's made it safe in that environment. Louisiana, let alone New Orleans, they experience a lot. they experience a lot. I mean, you talk about earthquakes, and now you got hurricanes. I mean, they experience a lot worse than us Floridas. Okay, compared to them, us Floridas, we're actually doing fine. So, yeah, man, shout out to New Orleans, man. I've been there maybe once or twice, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really depressing. Just because you remember of what took place and all that shit of the earthquake incident and the hurricanes and stuff. It's really sad how the houses came about. So That's just my experience on New Orleans. But anyways, it's not about New Orleans. It's about my experience in Hurricane Ida. So yeah. So, but like I said before, I appreciate you guys' support from the bottom of my heart and continue on supporting and never left my side when things were bad. You know, I always stay loyal to you guys, and I appreciate you guys all the support and love that I get from you guys. It really truly means it. You guys know that this is part of my life. This is a part of my journey of having my own business of, you know, selling like t-shirts and tumblers and all that stuff. You know, selling product basically, which is that's one of the things I want to do. So, you know, I appreciate you guys supporting by my heart. And if you have not done so, speaking of supporting, make sure you all go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that way I can provide more content for you guys. And remember, you make sure you keep that notification behind so that way you don't miss any videos that I upload. I see this video has gone way too long, but you know, I wanted to give you guys, trying to give the details on what it was like being in a hurricane and how I felt about it at first and how I felt about it now. So, you know, I know it was going to be a little, I expected this video was going to be long, but, you know, I wanted it to educate and also show you guys like how crazy it was and how it can be dangerous to be outside and more importantly, staying safe and secure in your places, or if you need to be evacuated and find a safe place to be at, which eventually they will take care of you for that. But yeah, man, the bottom line is stay safe. Stay safe, not just in the Hurricane Ida, but anywhere you go, period. So, you know, until next time, people, peace out. Yeah, let's go.